Well, going to confession may feel daunting, let alone preparing your kids for their first reconciliation. But our guests this evening have a new resource to help. Friends of the channel, Katie McGrady and her husband, Tommy McGrady, are co-authors of the new book, First Reconciliation and Beyond, a family's guide for learning and living forgiveness. Katie McGrady is, of course, host of The Katie McGrady Show here on the Catholic Channel and a regular CNN contributor. She's also the author of multiple books and hosts 3 podcasts. Where does she find the time? Ave Maria, Ave Explorers, Like a Mother with our Sunday Visitor, and Family Mass Prep on Hallow, the Hallow app. That's pretty cool. Which she co-hosts with her husband, Tommy. Tommy McGrady is a biology teacher at Lake Charles College Prep in Lake Charles, Louisiana, as well as a parish coach for the Accompaniment Project with NFCYM, the National Federation for Catholic Youth Ministry. He's the author of Life Teens Unleashed, Men of Scripture, and co-author of multiple Lent and Advent reflection devotionals. Welcome to the Busted Halo Show. First time together on the Busted Halo Show. Katie and Tommy McGrady, welcome.
Thanks for having us. This is great.
Hey.
Giving us the opportunity to speak to each other. It's good.
Yeah, I'm glad to be your marriage counselor. Is there something you have to say to her, Tommy? Is there anything?
Just that she's the love of my life and the best thing ever.
Good answer. Good answer, babe.
She's
Good
within
answer,
arm
babe.
length, so I didn't want to say something wrong. Have to duck. You know,
We're in the same room right
That's
now.
fun.
Within hands reach of each other, about like if we stretch. Yeah,
You don't want to look at his hand, though, because it says what he just said on there.
it's true.
Right. It's got notes.
Love of my life.
I just have everyone's name on there, Katie.
Katie,
That's all.
right. I knew it.
Now, Katie, here's what I was dying to know, because I wanted to see if I could promote it as like a world premiere. But we're dying to know if you have had Tommy on your show for the two of you to talk about your book prior to this.
You know, he doesn't have the best availability, and I'm sorry if there's an echo because we're in the same room with each other. He teaches during my live
I have
show.
to mold the minds of children.
So
I'm
no,
gonna
this
give
is
some
his
real
Catholic
thoughts.
Channel
So
appearance.
this is Catholic Channel premiere. I had
right.
a feeling. Yep. Very nice. Welcome, Tommy McGrady, to the Catholic Channel. Now, you two of you may recognize what you're looking at on my Zoom square because you were so laudatory of my church tour that I gave you when you guys were here in New York.
That was excellent.
So
it
I
was
thought
a
I'd give
treat.
you. Well, and I am of the 22 people that live in this house at the rectory here at the church, I'm the worst church tour person. And I've had people tell me, "Oh, we heard from Katie McGrady, you could get a good church tour from you." I'm like, well, I'm terrible at that.
Oh, it was fun. It was really fun. You showed us the strange, like miniature models of your founder, and
Yeah, he shows up everywhere.
we saw a lovely old retired Paulist hanging out in a very warm room. It was
Yep,
great.
and with a knee brace, he was just enjoing his day.
We saw the
Oh,
inside scoop
that,
of the
that
Paulist.
could describe any number of Paulists.
Were any of you resting a knee recently? They all raised their hand.
Everybody. In a warm, that was warm. It was like the hottest room of the house. That was the thing I couldn't get over.
Yes,
These are
it's
two
like
people from
87
Lake
degrees.
Charles, Louisiana, telling me that New York was
Yeah.
warm.
Hey, listen, I'm from
Thermostat.
Pennsylvania. I'm not. I am a transplant here. And
Now,
I'm still
Katie-
hot. I've been hot for
Katie,
10 years.
Tommy's got kind of the radio voice there.
He does. He
Little
has
impressed.
he has a good baritone.
This is also the voice of me after teaching all day long. So like I am kind of worn down to the studs over here.
He
And
came home. I was like, "Are you hoarse?" And he said, "I was teaching all day." And I was
All
like,
day
"Well,
long.
I was radioing all day. Like I had multiple interviews this morning. I had 2 hours of a live show. You know, we're
Yes,
both
but-
I'm
a
sure
little
you
tapped
guys
out.
would prefer to talk about your book, but I'm
23
happy
other-
just
Yeah,
I'm
this
happy
is
just
fine.
doing this for 20 minutes.
This is
Like a
great.
date night. Yeah,
That's right.
it's great.
23 other humans aren't screaming over you while you're trying to tell them all about biology. Like you have a microphone in front of you that's not talking back to you.
That's nice.
Right? So your
That's very
voice is
true.
fine after 3 hours of radio. Mine
Rose-
is shot after 8
You
hours
have
of
to
teaching.
yell over the kids.
Rose,
Now, similarly, Brett Siddell, my co-host, also has a spouse who teaches all day and comes home exhausted. Brett Siddell.
Yeah, I don't think Katie nor my wife want to come home sounding like me or Tommy. So this is fine. This is a good balance.
Yeah.
that's true.
But
If
I
someone's
do-
going to sound
but I
like this,
get
it's
it.
better me than Katie. I agree.
Let's see. I think I have them. I've got some like super medicated cough drops right off screen that I like will suck on in between segments if my throat. I'm just gonna ship some to the school, babe, and you can.
Babe.
I can just
Thanks.
hand
I
some
get
to you after
I get
this.
snacks. Good.
Now, Katie McGrady, last time I saw you, which was not long ago, you were planning to stay up very late to give live commentary on CNN for the Carlo Acutis canonization. How'd that go? Get some sleep?
No. So we were at a Vegas hotel, and like people in
Now, let's clarify. Katie and I were not at a Vegas hotel.
For an event, guys. For an event.
Back it up. Okay, we were at a Vegas hotel for an event.
Tommy's like, what?
What happened? Hanging out. We went and saw the Eagles. It was a whole thing. No, we didn't go see the Eagles.
Too expensive.
We made Catholic Channel money, not Eagles money. I left that dinner. So we had dinner together. I left the dinner.
With other people, again.
With other people. Yeah, let me clarify. It was with the Archbishop and lots of
things are going great.
Thank you.
I lost $28 at the slot machines. I went and spent all my cash. I walked out of there with 40 cents. And then I went upstairs.
Better
and
than some people.
It's true. It's true. It was really kind of sad, actually. Went upstairs, tried to take a nap, and the people in the room next to me came in at 11:30, yelling. And so I was just up at that point.
That's it.
So I just stayed awake and then did it.
Just pause it for those people who came into their Vegas room at 11:30. That's what Vegas is for, not doing pray-by-pray commentary on a canonization going on.
We were doing it right.
Thousands of miles away. You know what I mean?
Well, let's just say
I'm proud of both of you.
When in Rome,
I wasn't quiet when I was on TV. I was trying to talk maybe at first in hushed tones on the call, and I was like, no, they came in loud. I can be loud talking about the millennial saint.
The millennial saint. So other than that, how'd that go?
It was great. It was lovely. I have to say, I've said this on my own show. There's a lot of Carlo fans at CNN. They have icons of Carlo all over the property. So I was happy that they talked about it.
Now, Katie, you may remember, Tommy is, let me bring you up to speed on this.
Sure,
unless she shared it. You may remember that.
Well, the dinner was news to me, so this is good. Catch me up.
There were other people.
You had dinner with Father Dave at a Vegas hotel.
Go on.
With an archbishop.
With an archbishop literally between the two of us.
Between the two of us,
That's good.
He was the chaperone.
Room for the Holy Spirit is always good.
So I'll bring you up to speed on this, Tommy. Katie, you may remember when I arrived in Vegas, I was having some medical issues with my back. You may remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It was in pain. It was we're doing okay now. But if you also may remember when I walked into the room with some of the other speakers, that Marilyn Santos was there, and she had a prayer card that had a second-class relic in it. And as soon as she gave it to me, I stuck it right in my waistband by my lower lumbar back. It's been great since then.
Hey, Carlo, second-class relics. That's how the first miracle happened. Yeah.
What balanced me out if I'm wearing my wallet on the one side?
That's right. Yeah, like George Costanza. Yeah, you have the problem because your wallet's too big.
Prayer cards to balance that out. Yeah,
a lot of prayer cards.
I think he had icy hot on his prayer card that Father Dave was using. So I thought that's what you meant by that.
Got a little icy hot on it. Yeah.
Faith and science working together.
Beautiful.
Just like Carlo. Katie and Tommy McGrady are our guests on the Busted Halo show. Their new book is called First Reconciliation and Beyond: A Family's Guide for Learning and Living Forgiveness. I love how, you guys have the great story. You have family is a perfect age to write a book like this because you're telling stories all about the kids that are starting to realize what's going on. Katie, I love this story about your daughter with the remote. She clicks off the TV.
Yes. And we caught her. We caught her in the line. I think maybe one of the most dramatic parenting moments we've had where it's we knew she was lying. We knew she wasn't being forthright about even in her apology, and then she tried. How do we handle that?
Yeah, and she was covering it up too. That was you're no longer the little girl anymore.
It's always the cover up that's the problem, not
the
original. Yep.
And that's half the battle of parenting, and everybody listening will relate to this. It's you tell the child the infraction itself is okay, that's a problem, but then you don't tell us the truth about the infraction. It just makes it 10 times worse. And then we have to unpack all of that. And so we're still dealing with that with our kindergartner. And of course, Rose is in third grade now, but it leads to so many opportunities to talk about mercy and forgiveness. So, sometimes I guess the sin can lead to the lessons. We'd rather them not sin at all, but at least we can process it well.
Yeah. And I think for us, at that time, we knew we're okay, we're going towards a sacrament here. So like the moments that present themselves, you know that they're going to matter more in the long run. You know, when we're trying to explain forgiveness of Jesus. Well, when I did something wrong, mommy and daddy did this. They behaved this way. They reacted and responded this way. And in a very real way, the way that they view us is the way that they're going to view God. You know, how does they relate to God? How does God relate to them? So being intentional about modeling those moments, that didn't fall on deaf ears for us. We kind of took up the mantle and we're like, okay, this is a big deal, and we need to make sure that she understands forgiveness and mercy and all of the things.
Katie and Tommy McGrady joining us on the Bus Sale Show. The less familiar voice to many of you, Tommy McGrady.
That's right.
And apparently he's hoarse from yelling at the students all day.
Correct.
That's what I heard earlier. Okay.
Vigorously teaching.
So you teach biology, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So your world, while you're a very faithful Catholic, your world is also steeped in the science. Is there something that's helpful for parents when they're having their kids first experiencing this? Maybe they've been going to church with mom and dad, and then they go to school and like, wait, this is a whole new world. There's like science. I've had some parents and grandparents ask me, like, my kids are thinking that, you know, once they start learning about science, that they got to throw this whole faith thing out the window. How do you make sure that that connection is still solid?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really great question, and it's something that my
you.
students struggle with. You're welcome. That my students struggle with as well, because a lot of them are very faithful, and they go to the church weekly, and they're great kids in a great community, and they struggle with the tension, this perceived tension of faith and science. And for me, it's not a source of tension. It's a both and thing. You know, it's the most Catholic thing ever. It's faith and science. What a gift it is to understand the world more that God has given us, understand our place in the universe, and that it may be different than what's literally written down in Scripture on creation, but it gives you a broader perspective and a more magnanimous view of God, that rather than 6 days of I said this and this happened, which he certainly could have, but the evidence would say that actually this amazing story of salvation and redemption has taken place over, 15 billion years. 15 billion light years of space, and yet he still knows every hair in our head, and knows and wants to be in relationship with us, and wants us to let go of our sin and our pride and cling to him. Like, it's such a grander story to tell the deeper you go into the sciences, and you can see the complexity and the mystery that still exists, and the beauty of all of creation, the physical sciences, the life sciences, all of it magnifies who God is, and how he's trying to find us and reach us and be with us.
Katie McGrady, is your husband auditioning for his own show on SiriusXM? Because he's very good. He's very articulate.
We need we have a couple podcasts together, right?
Well, yeah, you guys get more podcasts than most people.
It pays the bills.
We're a volume shooter over here. We just see
what sticks.
That's it.
We are talking with Katie and Tommy McGrady about their brand new book, First Reconciliation and Beyond, A Family's Guide for Learning and Living Forgiveness. Now, Katie, each chapter you guys have like 5 little life lessons. And so you integrate part of your family story in with the church, and then you invite people to do the same. Do you find that's helpful? Because a lot of times there's this disconnect between what the church teaches and here's what our real life is. Oh, blah, 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 you priest on Sunday, but you don't know what the real life is. But you help us to help parents, I guess, make that connection.
Yeah, we wanted to try to put out like little parables. Like, this is our life. This is what's going on. Here's particular ways that like we've learned a lesson. So my favorite story in the whole book is actually the story of Rose and this exploding icy, which happened on the day of her actual first reconciliation. Excuse me. The First Communion book is in final edits right now.
We're working on that one too.
I've got that one in my brain. Like, I have to turn it back in tomorrow.
Which story was in which book?
Which one? Which moment with which kid? The joke that we keep making is like, we have got First Reconciliation, we've got First Communion on deck, we'll do a baptism one, we'll eventually do a confirmation one. We can't do First Marriage and Beyond. That one can't come into
First marriage, and it's all you get.
That's all you get. It's just this one. But so there was this moment where Rose and I were on a field trip, and we were driving home, and we stopped at this gas station, and she wanted an icy, and so she was fixing it herself, and the little lever on the icy machine popped, and so the icy just like exploded. And it was red, and she was wearing this gray school shirt, and she was convinced I was going to be furious. And like, I think I was given a lot of grace in that moment to not be as mad as I normally would have been, but I was stressed. because it was a school t-shirt and like she was going to have to wear it again the next day. And it was a whole thing. Well, fortunately, stain treaters work and we were able to save and rescue the shirt. And the miracle of the first reconciliation day wasn't even first reconciliation. It was that we came home from church and the shirt was clean because the stain treaters had worked. And it was this funny little moment of the stain treater works, absolution works, and everybody wins.
Oh.
Everybody's clean as a result of a little bit of effort, right? And so it's moments like that that hopefully click for parents, that they've got their own moments in their own family life that remind them of the value and beauty of the sacrament and will help them explain it to their kids. And also the real goal is for that mom or dad to make it back to confession too, because we find, like, statistically, a lot of parents haven't maybe been in a long time themselves. And so if you've shown up to put your kid in religious education, here's the book to help you appreciate the sacrament and maybe make your way back to it as well.
Parentheses, Katie holds up book.
Holds up book. Yeah, that's right. Well, we're on Zoom, right? But like radio, holds up book,
It's
gestures.
an auditory medium.
She's
so
only up for
used
me.
to
I'm like,
CNN.
I'm like, I gotta get that book.
Yeah, Father Dave, you gotta hold yours up every time mass class.
That's
comes
true.
up.
Oh, wow. That's every Wednesday.
lot.
I'm going to get that off the shelf. All right. We are speaking with Katie and Tommy McGrady about their new book, First Reconciliation and Beyond, A Family's Guide for Learning and Living Forgiveness. It seems like, from the portions that I've read, you guys have a lot of, let's say, happy ending stories, but any ones where it didn't exactly work out as you'd hoped?
Yeah. So this one's in the book too, I believe. Rose and I and Claire spent all morning setting up Halloween decorations in the front yard, and the kayak.
Katie's cracking up.
We put a kayak out there, and there's 3 skeletons in it, and it looked great. It was all Rose's idea, and she had them positioned how they wanted to.
And Rose
It
is
was-
how old? How old is Rose?
At this point, she was in 2nd grade, right?
She was 7.
Yeah, she was 6 or 7 years old, and so we had it all set up, and then we went to bed. We woke up the next morning to go to the church, and Rose came outside to check on it because she wanted to see her creation in the morning light, and she's like, "Dad, the kayak's gone." I was like, "What?" So I run outside, and wouldn't you know it, the kayak is gone. There's just one skeleton just laying on the ground, like just collapsed. I'm like, "What happened?" Someone during the night drove up and hoisted the kayak onto the bed of their truck and drove off. Now, this kayak had been sitting on the side of our house for the last 4 months.
Sorry, AKA stole your kayak.
They stole
the
my kayak.
And the skeletons.
And the skeletons.
And the
two of them.
skeletons.
But like, they could have
Halloween.
taken it at any time in the last 4 months. It was just on the side of the house. But now it's a decoration, so now they have to take it. I was mad about that, but I was more upset because I saw how crushed Rose looked. It was like her first moment of, oh, sometimes people suck. Like, it was the first moment of like breaking that innocence of the world around her. And so like
I just lost the audition, Katie, by the way, as it is.
well, that's well,
Yeah, no,
Save that for one of
she's
your
the sugar
dozen
mama. I'm just
Can't say
here
that.
for health insurance.
You can't
all right.
say that.
So it's sorry. It stinks, everybody.
Thank you.
People stink sometimes.
Let's use
Not
family
you.
words.
Not you. You never do. So we like, I was very cognizant that this is a big moment for her. And so I said, Rose, this person did a bad thing and it hurt us, but we need to forgive that person because that's how Jesus would want us to act. So we knelt down right there in the front yard and said that we forgive this
Wow.
person and said a
Wow.
prayer for them.
Wow.
And I was like, great, did it. Building a future saint.
Nice job.
And like nearly every weekend since then, and now we're getting towards Halloween again, so she's brought it up several times.
She brings
That
it up.
person stole my kayak, and they stole my skeleton. So it's
Forgive
she's
but
still
not forget,
holding on
apparently.
to it.
So a few
Yeah.
weeks ago, she and I were at Walgreens and we were checking out, and a person, and I think this is just a way people steal, like, was hovering by the little magnetometer things when you walk out. And when we walked out, this person like slipped out behind us with a bunch of stuff that they had to pay for. And I immediately noticed that this person stole. So I just like clocked the license plate and texted it to my dad, who's friends with the sheriff department. And I was
Whoa.
like, hey, like, this person stole. I'm just like, and I like, he heard me say that. Rose heard me say this on the phone. Okay, look, theft like that makes items more expensive for everybody else. I will die on this hill. So anyway, okay, I will totally be that in this situation. I didn't call the cops. I called my dad, who like alerted the sheriff's office. Okay, But my Rose is in the backseat and she hears me talking to my dad about this guy who like I've just witnessed stealing. And we are driving home and she went, I bet that's the same guy that stole our kayak.
Yeah. I was going to posit that theory. I'm sure she was.
She's
Wait,
convinced.
somebody stole something? I
They
know
are
the
the
guy.
same
I know
person.
him.
So it's like it's the whole thing is like little kids have this righteous sense of justice, but they also don't want you to be just towards them. They want nothing but mercy. And so it's figuring out the balance. And the sacrament of reconciliation can be so intimidating for a kid. Like there was a little while where Rose was convinced every priest, we're friends with a lot of priests. So she was convinced all the priests like talk to each other after the day is over about all the stuff they heard in confession. And it was a huge hurdle to like explain to her he's not allowed. So stuff like that, we kind of work through it in the book to give parents kid-friendly language to explain it to.
Right. So he's
like,
not
you
allowed to
said
do that.
stealing kayaks was not allowed too.
Yeah,
Mom.
that's not allowed either.
It's true.
That certainly happened with
Yeah.
my beautiful art project. On the
That's
front
right.
lawn.
It was, I'm going to text you guys pictures of it. It was such a cool little
It was
setup.
it was the best.
Take it.
Well, the irony is that because you made it look so good, they took the same kayak that's usually just leaning against your
It's true.
garage.
Right,
That's
right,
right.
right.
Oh,
We
that's what it
basically
looks like?
sold it
Let's
to the
take it.
thieves.
The
yeah.
worst part about all of that, the kayak story, is that kayaks are definitely one of those things that you get and you even steal and you're like, I'm going to use this all the time. There's no way that person has used that kayak even
No.
one time. No,
That's
it's
right.
his
Hasn't
kid's
used-
heart, but has never used the kayak.
Have you used the replacement kayak, babe?
Once.
Once.
Probably happened to the thief as well.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
He's going to
He's
return
not
it.
enjoying
probably.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to
I
bring
hope
it back
not.
with the skeletons.
I hope he hurts his back and needs a holy card to fix
Oh,
it.
hey, that's not very charitable.
It was
Being
kind of
a
a
good-
perfect crime. He left only
good
one
model.
witness, and it was a dead guy.
That's
So
true.
Well, who are these people? Yes, Katie and Tommy McGrady. You can hear half of this couple, usually in the afternoons, 2 to 4 p.m. The other one's teaching. He doesn't have no time for no radio,
no time
except at night. So, Bob, Tommy, you can come back if you want.
Oh, great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Some people will have me on. I have to call in I have to call in to be on her show by force. I have to sneak into Jackie on the line and say, hey, let me on. And I get to sneak on the Katie McGrady show every once in a
When
while.
I was filling in for Gus a few weeks ago, he called me from the drop-off line at school. To which I was then very confused because you started describing fire trucks at school. I was like, what is happening on
Like-
the phone?
Lightning had hit the HVAC system of their school. And so, like, fire trucks are pulling in. Guys are
And
I was
why
like,
are you
what?
freaking your wife out while she's trying
Yeah.
to work?
I'm like on the radio, distracted by my children's school catching on
I
fire.
thought you'd want to know. There's fire trucks at the school. What do you mean? You're not
It's literally written into the emergency plan at school that they cannot call my phone from 12 to 3 because I can't get up from the desk. If a kid's sick, sorry, tough luck. Like, call dad.
Tommy.
Oh,
Like,
Dad.
I'm
Dad's
live
got
on
it.
air.
That's right.
Well, if you want more of this, and it's fun, and we love it, then you can listen to their podcast, get the book. We're going to put links to everything, how you can listen to these guys, Katie and Tommy. You can read their new book, First Reconciliation and Beyond, A Family's Guide for Learning and Living Forgiveness. All of that at bustedhalo.com/radio. I say again, bustedhalo.com/radio. Go check it out. Oh, great to have you guys. We should do this more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
this
hang
was
out
really fun.
and let's go see the Eagles soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to win the lot. You're going to have to do better at
Yeah, more book sales.
jackpot.
Buy the book.
More
40 cents
podcasts.
towards those tickets, though. We got that. We got 40 cents there.
Yeah, I don't think it's the book. I think you have to hit the slot machines to get lucky.